Hi everyone, my name is Dino and welcome to the EUniverse. EUMasters is back, let's get straight into Group A.
Hi, I'm Caroline, host for Baltic Masters. Allow me to introduce you to GOEXANIMO.
All down come the ults once again on the critical target. Shut down already picked up. Down Baron below 1 HP. Oh, Viego takes it as well. Homeless Master denies the Wolves even a crumb of comfort.
So GOEXANIMO has been around for quite a while, but the current roster used to play under the name esports back in Spring Split 2021. They took third place at playoffs right there, couldn't make it to EUMasters, but now in Summer Split they were back, quite hyped up and keeping the same players. They ended up in third place and regular season, made it to playoffs and beat Goshkila, the current winners, 3-1. Then took Iron Wolves to Game 5 in the finals, but couldn't make it and took second place instead. GOEXANIMO's playstyle is focused around teamfights rather than just having one player take the spotlight. They're also really good at late game combos, and that's what you should expect from them. Homeless Master has been one of the best junglers in Baltic Masters history. His steals and ganks are legendary, so be careful with that. Also, he's really consistent, so watch out. This is our last Baltic Masters split, so we are expecting our teams to at least make it out of playoffs. But for now, GOEXANIMO has shown top-tier teams what it's like to lose and take it to Game 5 as well, so I'd be careful around them. To sign off, this has been Caroline, host for Baltic Masters. Bye-bye.
Hi everybody, my name is Dino. I am here in the studios of the Belgian League and that can only mean one thing. Let me introduce to you our representative, Sector 1.
Het is alleen Sliver tegen de rest van de wereld. Tegen heel Sector 1. Maar dat gaat er niet in zitten. Sector 1, welkom terug op je troon. Want jullie winnen de Belgian League en gaan België voor de derde keer representeren op EUMasters.
Sector 1 returned to glory after one split of absence. They used to be the top dogs in the Belgian League. Since we formed it, they were number 1. But last split, a usurper took over in KVM. Sector 1, after that disappointing split, returned to the drawing board and took the Belgian League over again. My player to watch for Sector 1 will be Zergold. He's a typical top laner that wins his lane and then tries to win the game. He does the most damage out of top lane and he tops the damage charts even if you take in the other roles. The only question that you can ask yourself is, can he do the same damage to EUMaster top laners as he did in the Belgian League? And now it's time for honesty. I've seen the groups draw, we got the group of life. We avoided the third seed from a major ERL, but not only that, we got the second seed from the LPLOL and the GLL. You're thinking it has nothing in common, but KVM bodied those in spring. It's the easiest group we could get. Baltic Masters second seed, what even is this? This group is so free that it would be a shame if Sector 1 doesn't make it out. Not only would it be the 4th time that we go to the knockout stages consecutively, it might finally be the first time that we make it to the main stage. Sector 1 is going to try in their 3rd run, and the only thing I can do is support them in the best way a Belgian can, by praying to our Belgian gods. It's not hard, I'm gonna do it, and while I'm doing it, I'm just going to listen to the next guy or girl that's going to represent the team that we're probably gonna beat.
Hello according to EUniverse, my name is TheRock7, I'm casting for Greek Legends League. The chaos of our region is back, and if you don't believe in Ghost, I'm sure you will at this EUMaster play-in.
Σκόνη 30 μας στον αέρα με το πολύ ωραίο πιλάρ, το πήρε από τον Νίκολεξ, ο Μπάρον πάει στο WL Game, ο Chips κάνει το engage με το δικό του weakness, πολύ ωραία τα κάνει παρόλα αυτά, ο Sanity, το τους τον Μπάρον, το πήρε τον Μπάνανι, τον Μπάνι, το μαζί με τον Μπάνι να κάνουν δουλίτσα στο backline για το μάτι του WL Gaming. Στο frontline όμως είναι ο Νίκολεξ και ο Πέπε, οι οποίοι έχουν αντέξει πάρα πολύ και τώρα έρχεται ο Μαρού, ο οποίος μπορεί να πάρει όλα αυτά τα kills με το πόσο low είναι αυτή τη στιγμή.
It's the first time that Team PHANTASMA reaches the EUMaster, and it's the first time that the org with 5 Greek players doing a run like that. Team PHANTASMA wants to believe in Greek talent and make their own history. And as we saw, they did a good choice. And let's talk about their play style. They're trying to create leads with an early swap and the use of the first herald for resources. The main target for those resources is Kabamaru, but at the end of the day, it's all about the macro and shot calling for Team PHANTASMA. I will highlight the mid laner Pepe. He's the unseen hero of Team PHANTASMA, from a rookie split to a most improved one, and now he's at the EUMaster. He's so stable and so good at teamfights, so better watch out if Pepe got some power spikes at his champion. You should definitely keep an eye on Nikolex. It's like the Greek Zanzara, the masterminds of the jungle can out-jungle you with Trundle, Zac and Skarner. so better watch out. Nonetheless, I expect them to finish as the first team in their group. I believe the research and the preparation is as it should be. We're going to the knockout stage. We need ghost stories because we, in fact, are the ghosts. That's for me. See you guys in the next video. I'm going us out.
Hello everyone, name is Wandering Wraith and I'm the host of the Portuguese League LPLOL. Today I'll be talking about White Dragons.
O seu Equalizer. Continuam a chover shots. A equipa de fora do Win tem que estancar de alguma forma. O Owner obrigado novamente a ir à base de Vidarias com o tempo da Corruption. Obrigado, já morreu. Owner tenta aguentar como pode, mas a equipa dos White Dragons simplesmente tem dano demais. Double kill alternative. É apanhado toma na Death Sentence. Resiste com o Scatter da Week, mas não resiste muito tempo. Morre Shaki Milton para Noma, mas já não interessa. Vive é que apenas um homem vivo na base da equipa da fora do Win. E com 0 jogadores vivos, sai o Ace e os White Dragons estão na final!
White Dragons debuted in the very first year of LPLOL, though not finding the best results. 6 years later, in spring 2021, they came back with a fantastic roster, gathering the best of Portuguese talent, combined with experiencing in other regions such as Spain and Brazil. After an almost perfect split dominating the league in spring, they didn't make it out of play-ins in Spring European Masters. However, they've kept the roster, and even though they showed up to summer with some shaky performances, they ended up finding themselves and got that second place. White Dragons can really flex their picks, every player having a white champion pool. Their playstyle is calculated, preferring to get objectives rather than forcing fights, and they are very patient in waiting for the champion and item power spikes. It's very hard to pick a player to keep an eye on, but I cannot stop highlighting Slayer, who really knows when and where to go and really does exactly what the team needs him to. He can really hook you up on those plays. White Dragons have what it takes for the main stage, so keep an eye on them as they are definitely a team that can go far. That's it from me, see you next time.
Can Fnatic Rising redeem themselves in Group B?
Hello everybody, I'm Viper and I'm here today to talk to you about Fnatic Rising because come on, you didn't really think that we could have European Masters without one of our NLC Academy teams, did you?
Looking for the double kill, the true shot barrage comes in, he gets busted shot underneath the tower, Prosper not going to get knocked up, he's able to jump away, Dragdar continues to fire away, but the Nexus will be the focus, the Nexus will be the target, Fnatic Rising find themselves the reverse sweep, and they qualify for the European Masters, and they qualify for the finals!
For those of you who haven't been keeping up, I'll give you a quick history lesson. Fnatic Rising have dominated UK and Nordic League of Legends since their inception, and this includes 4 first place finishes in playoffs in both the NLC and UKLC. They've never failed to make it into the top 2 in their region and have also done it at continental level, managing to end in the top 4 of the European Masters on 2 separate occasions. When it comes to players to watch, it has to be the mid laner Dejor coming in to replace Forbidden. Hey, talk about massive shoes to fill. This guy hasn't had too much time on the Rift in the NLC so far, but there have been both glimmers of hope and a couple of warning signs too. However, one thing to note about Dejor, the mid laner, is that he has a massive and versatile champion pool. Seraphine, Orianna, Ryze, Yasuo, don't worry, he plays it all. Fnatic Rising like to win games quickly and they like to kill you often. They have the second fastest average game time of any team in the NLC, and when you couple that with their highest number of kills and lowest number of deaths in the league, it shows how bloodthirsty and clinical this team can be. Fnatic Rising are looking at Group B and thinking that they should be able to qualify out of it. Yes, there are some tough teams in here, but with a couple of the smaller regions represented, you'd hope that Fnatic Rising could give it a good go. We did talk about potential banana peels though, and the Iron Wolves coming out of the Baltic Masters are definitely going to be a tough nut to crack. This season has to be Fnatic Rising's redemption arc, and that is going to begin in the Group B of play-ins. You don't want to miss it.
Hello everyone, my name is Doctor and I'm here to talk to you about the Baltic Masters first seed team, Iron Wolves.
Without the flash on Warazar, this is so hard for Vortex, and Blind Boy going down mini as well cannot help right now. However, 3 Cloud Souls does mean at least Blindboy gets 2 ults.
He's been stunned, he's been dropped, and Leodaris gets away with his life as well as ETI comes through to double for Spectral. One is found back onto Salius, Hibitakaba doing everything he can, but it's not enough. Sufflex, the last alive as Iron Wolves see the exposed Nexus. They wanted to earn this win, and earn it they did. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming back the Iron Wolves to the EUMasters.
Iron Wolves are a representative Lithuanian team filled with streamers and dreamers, fan favourites of the league who are making their first EUMasters appearance this split. They've had a big glow up since spring where they finished only in the semi-finals, this time round making their way not only into the finals but winning the whole league outright. And they've managed to do this by just having a colossal multi-threat type of team. You've got ZTY going 1v9 sicko mode up in the top lane, Saulius, as we all know, can play an insane scaling mage in the mid lane and just farm up and really take over a game once he gets to 2 or 3 items on things like his signature Rise. But we've also seen Spectral and Leodaris take over games down in the bot lane, either with things like their patented, Caitlyn Karma, which is a little bit retro, but they make it work. But they've also got things coming out like their interesting kill lanes, such as their Leona Ziggs. Because of this, it's kind of hard to pick an individual player you want to keep your eye on because it can really just change from game to game, but personally, as I may have hinted in my last EUniverse appearance, I just want to see Saulius. I want to see that team leader, the face of the organization. If he gets his Rise at least one time, that's going to be a treat to watch no matter what. Now, as for the groups, let's be honest, it's not looking too great, right? We got MOVISTAR Riders, we got FNATIC. But you know what, you can keep your numbers, I prefer the magic. I'll be looking forward to seeing Iron Wolves and the Baltics play at EUMasters, and I hope you are too. Iron Wolves will be looking to finish the Baltics League with a bang, and maybe, just maybe, in its final run ever, get the Baltic Masters out of the group stage.
Hi everyone, my name is Dino en I'm here to present to you MCON LG Ultra Gear.
Deze series afmaken, hemzelf naar EUMasters toewerken. Nu hebben ze een oog gericht op de Nexus. Mikkelit gaat in, maar de Nexus is open en dat is de focus van MCON. Hoeveel damage heeft PSV? Zeker niet genoeg! En het is MCON!
Against a lot of regional expectations, MCON actually took the title. They started off in the Dutch league at dead last, but this year they rebuilt their roster after teaming up with the city of Rotterdam, and they made a very strong run through the lower bracket. MCON fielded a team that can play around topside like no other in the Dutch league. You had Robba, who won the Belgian league last split, he did it again in the Dutch league. Then you have Noodle, who role swapped to jungle and bodies people on champs like Hecarim, like Viego and like Rumble. And lastly, in the mid lane we got Sauce Perfect back in the Benelux. He came back with a vengeance, had something to prove, and as an instrumental leader for the team, he was a big part for their strong early game that brought them to most of their victories. It is expected by a lot of analysts and casters that MCON can't really make it out of these groups. I mean, you have MOVISTAR Riders and FNATIC Rising as a clear favorite, but that's when MCON shines. When they are put into that underdog role, when everybody counts them out, they will do whatever it takes to actually clutch out a win. And even so, if they don't make it out, it's not that hard to beat the record of PSV. I mean, they went 0-6, so it's only up from here.
Forzar en la zona superior del mapa es triple inhibidor más bufo de Barón Nashor. Esto que puede ser el punto y final. Rufus que no aguanta nada, intenta buscar más lo de Linkset, pero fíjate, Big Hit que lo hacía bastante bien. Oráculo W está pegando Ramdo de gratis, pero es que no es posible. Se apuntaba al shutdown, pero esto que va a ser GG y victoria para el conjunto de Movistar Riders. Solo queda Robocop, los minions que pueden acabar con su, y de hecho va a ser así. Movistar Riders, campeón de la fase regular de la Superliga.
From the Spanish Superliga, we get to meet Movistar Riders. The Riders had a weird run to the play-in since they were the first to lock in an EUMasters seed, but they were only guaranteed the play-in stage by getting first in the LVP's regular season. Then In the playoffs, they got knocked out in their first best-of series by the eventual LVP winners Vodafone Giants. After finishing 5th in spring, Movistar kept their top side together with marquee ex-LEC jungler Maxlor and Kenzuke, but they changed up their bot side, bringing in Venzer and Dual, whilst they let Cassin go, who eventually kicked them out of those playoffs. The Riders are a consistent team that likes to play with a carry topside. Maxlor is the beating heart of this team and definitely a player to keep your eyes on. His experience could be a huge factor in the Riders resetting after a tough playoffs run and rolling into EUMasters like nothing ever happened. If he gets his hands on a carry jungler like Viego, he can make it happen for his team. Even though the Giants seem to have figured out Movistar's Riders and might have exposed some weaknesses in their drafts, they had time to adjust, and looking at the group's draw, it should be an easy road out of them and through the knockout stage into the main stage. LVP hasn't really showed up in the recent play-in stages, so look to the Movistar Riders to right those wrongs. No clear favorites, everything to play for in Group C.
Hey guys, long time no see. I hope you're prepared since we're talking EUMasters today.
Zvezda je toliko jako grupisana da kada bi našao engage bilo bi sve sjajno. Skaču da na Mihaja, Kana je taj koji trenutno jedini tankuje sve, ali polako stiže i TSS, jako dobro eksplozija Kesku splituje ekipu ZTN-a, odnosno ekipa Crvene zvezde, ali Vendetta ponovo niko ne dira, Ven će osjeti jako dugo u životu i gledaj shieldove, Vendetta je sve ovo preživeo ponovo, ubijen Mumus i eto nova 4 kila za ekipu Crvene zvezde, trenutno 3, ali kao što vidimo Ryuzaki samo ne može pobeći i Vendetta će da završi.
The team that is representing EBL in the play-ins is Crvena zvezda. After long and excruciating 5 games in the finals, Crvena zvezda almost won the league but were bested by mostly themselves. The team that was composed by Kolamax, an ex-player and the current coach of the team, with his flexible drafts, a slow start and key players like Tsiperakos and Vendetta that are funneled into by their veteran support Tasteless, Crvena zvezda explodes in the mid stages of the game. They have a secret weapon as well, on the top lane, which is usually weak-sided. If you, by any chance, leave Irelia open, Nazgul will always pick her and show that he's most certainly one of the best Irelias you'll ever see. Is that all, you might ask? I left out the one guy that might be a silent star of this team. Kana in the jungle has a slow start and usually doesn't get that much lead in the early stages of the game, but boy, you don't wanna see this guy playing from behind. Every single time, the slower he starts, the quicker he'll end and snowball the game for his team. Kana always comes back around with astonishing game-changing shot calls and quick rotations on the map.
Olá a todos, I am Anifar and I'm back with some more EUMasters actions. This time, I'll be presenting the #1 seed from the Portuguese League of Legends. It's Karma Clan Esports.
Que agora já usou os seus Zónias, o cooldown é grande, Fark vai entrar, tentou apanhar, Herói que é protegido, é isso que ele consegue fazer agora, podem partir para cima de Cortini, se conseguir utilizar o Shadow Dash, é um bom Polymorph, Cortini foi abatido, é Herói que a carregar, é o Scarma a puxar, é o Scarma a olhar agora para a grande final, offset em apuros, enquanto que Papitino fica acima da vez da frontline, é mais um inhibitor destruído, Anifar!
Karma Clan might have the most interesting story of any team at EUMasters this split. They came from 2 last place finishes in a row, with 1 victory over both splits, and they eventually clinched a playoff in 4th place on this very own summer split. They then proceeded to beat the #1 seed from the regular season 3-2 to secure EUMasters, and then at the finals, they reverse swept the defending champions White Dragons to get their first title in the LPLOL. They usually have a very messy early game, but they compensate for the lack of coordination with mechanical skill and no fear whatsoever. No game is unwinnable with these guys on their keyboards because their resilience makes sure it is so. One player to watch though would be Heroic. He is the sole propeller of the entire team, whether it is through in-game calls, mechanical prowess, or just overall being the clutch factor that many players dream to have, while never crumbling under pressure. All that being said, Karma are ready to show that coming from 0 to hero does not stop here, and their full potential is yet to be discovered. Signing off, I am Anifar, and I hope to see you in the group stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Karen here again. It's a pleasure to stand before you to introduce you to the Italian representative for playing from PG Nationals, Team Outplayed.
è già a terra, Seaboy che vorrebbe sedirsi ma non trova l'angolo, quanti danni in entrata, facciate perfette, pugni nelle mani e Raito alla fine non ci credo, la porta in campo, si lancia avanti Seaboy, tanti danni da parte sua, eliminare soltanto Quickset però non basta, The Haze è rientrato nel fight e questo sarà il primo game per gli Outplayed, signore e signori, la prima vittoria è nelle loro mani, niente 3-0.
As the most everlasting Italian organization among the PG Nationals contenders, Team Outplayed managed to get their way back to EUMasters after their top 8 placement during the summer split of 2018. They are known for their over-aggressive playstyle. Once they get a hold of the game, they start choking the enemy team out of resources until they get to the enemy nexus. Their main highlight are their jungler, Lotus with his fearsome Nidalee, their mid laner, The Haste with his champion Ocean and his mechanical skills, and their support, Quickset, an hyper-pulling maestro whose Galio yet have to face defeat this split. Trust me when I tell you that you don't want to face this team in your group. Also, 2021 is the year where Italy wins everything, so is just everything part of the script, right?
Give a warm welcome to the second seed of Hitpoint Masters, Sinners. Sinners, Esports and ESUBA, those are the two big orgs out of Hitpoint Masters, and in the end those are the two orgs that made it to EUMasters. Sadly for Sinners, they are the clear second seed. Again. Sinners like to play damage heavy comps, revolving around hyper carries in the mid and bot lane and split push threats for their top lane. AD carry Pyok is a strong player that can really leave his mark on a game, but I would suggest you keep your eyes on jungler Lian. After leaving the Benelux as a promising rookie, he kept Sinners in the playoff run and with his Lee Sin, eventually got them to the second place. Sinners come into EUMasters with a score to settle, being their terrible 0-6 performance of Spring Split. And looking at the groups they're in, winning a game shouldn't be the hardest task. But can they make it out and make Hitpoint proud? I can't find a more adequate name than the Group of Death, Group D.
Hello guys, it's Maguire and I'm here to talk about Agorogue from Ultraliga.
Jak na poprzedniej mapie, tylko troszkę później.
No właśnie, troszkę później, ale mimo wszystko Illuminar będzie chciał tutaj o niego zawalczyć.
Okej, próba obrony, najlepszą obroną jest atak rzekomo, ale brak koordynacji w tym wszystkim, a Lurox po prostu idzie do przodu. Resztki mamy zużywa i wszystkim tym jest Laker z resetami, ta Jinx jest bezlitosna. Pyrka flash, pyrka hook i Laker może pójść do po triple killa. Mam apetyt na więcej, podobnie jak i Damian, ale mam wrażenie, że mury i Hagiego zastopują.
Byłem przekonany, że to nie może się udać. Jak on tu zrobił tego tripla?
Ależ zakręcił tutaj.
Yeah, you heard it just right. The Polish representative for EUMasters playing stage will be Agorogue, the same team that won EUMasters exactly 1 year ago during summer of 2020. The same team that won Ultraliga 3 times and has always placed first during the regular season. It is quite shocking, and to add insult to injury, they lost both of their playoff series without winning a single map. Okay, having that out of the way, let's move on to the playstyle of the team. Agorogue usually gets ahead thanks to their solid laning phase and strong fundamentals across the board. Players are quite versatile and can fulfill multiple roles with their wide champion pools. For example, Cress has played 15 unique champs this season. It is the mid game that they have recently struggled with, not being able to play through side lanes and being uncoordinated in teamfights, which resulted in the 0-6 record in the playoffs. The question remains, can they fix the issues before the EUMasters starts? The star of the season is Laker, who had an exceptional season and was the MVP of the regular stage. He was responsible for dealing over 33% of his team's damage, and together with Pirka, they formed strong 2v2 lane. But it's the teamfights where Laker shines with his impeccable positioning and clutch decisions. Agorogue experienced some issues towards the end of the season and had rough playoffs, which should be alarming. However, it's entirely up to them to solve the problems within the team, and I have full confidence they will. Even though they start from play-ins, I expect them to advance to the main stage and get out of the groups. And that should do it. Thank you so much and catch you next time.
ESUBA and dominating the Hitpoint Masters. Name a more iconic duo. ESUBA is the organization that had a part to play in the careers of by now local legends Humanoid, Patrick and Denik. Can the next generation of the Czech Republic make an impact on the EUMasters stage? ESUBA is a dominant team that allows for their players to lean into comfort. If they can pull it off on the bigger stage, mid laner Sciator will go towards his Akali and Sylas and look for flashy outplays. Top laner Random, he'll just join the party, flexing the Sylas with him and trying to outdo his brother in arms. ESUBA never really got into trouble locally, and the explanation is pretty easy. They dominated almost every facet of the game. Laning, teamfighting, macro decisions, they have yet to meet their match. But after being drawn into the group of that as the only minor ERL representative, something tells me that's about to change. In a logical world, ESUBA can only look towards playing spoiler. In a world with a little bit more spice, they can achieve a huge upset by knocking out 2/3 seeds of the big leagues. Watch out, Group of Death, cause here comes MOUSESPORTS. MOUSESPORTS is one of the literal OGs of the Primeleague and Europe, a top organization for years on end that should put fear in the rest of this so-called Group of Death. From summer 2019 onwards, what did every single EUMasters main stage event have in common? MOUSESPORTS in the knockout stage. The lineup fielded by MOUSESPORTS is stacked through the freaking roof. They roll in with none other than Sartorius, Pridestalker, Chocolate, Gadget and Camilius. That list is like a who's who of the ERL talent that got a shot and maybe still deserves a shot at LEC, with a bot lane that's well on their way to earn that same status. A player to watch would still be Pridestalker, just because he's the epitome of a carry jungler. The man played 2 games on Z jungle in playoffs. And yes, one of those was their only win. After losing to the miracle run of eventual winners big in the King of the Hill bracket, the Mice were relegated to the Plains Group of Death. The thing is, someone has to be the Grim Reaper, and that role has been put aside for MOUSESPORTS.
Hey, it's Baltic, and I'm here to walk you through the third seed of the LFL, VITALITY.BEE.
Peut être absolument monstrueux. Et derrière, le casse-tête est excellent et c'est le T qui va rapidement tomber à Skin également. C'est la vraie Résina potentiellement, quoique Smiley est encore en vie. Skins et Smiley qui donne absolument tout. Skins qui continue, Skins qui récupère un nouveau corps et qui doit maintenant s'extraire de la pour le triple kill. Incroyable. Duncan Pentakill pour Skins.
You should be familiar with this team. They were already there in spring, where they unfortunately didn't make it past play-in, losing 2-0 to the Polish team Illumina Gaming during the knockout stage. Same results, but different players. SLT and Skins both came from the LEC team in order to dominate the National League and go back to the top as fast as possible. Those two had different stories. SLT was not as dominant as expected, but still had a solid performance. On the other side, Skins is a bloody monster. Mechanics and timing, he showed everything a carry jungler could do. He's the Hearth of the Hive and the player you need to watch, because you'll see him in LEC next year. Quick word about Diplex. This young mid laner is still there, still dripping and slashing. Don't underestimate him. VITALITY.BEE has a curse to break. They need to get through the playing stage. This is becoming a necessity at this point. Their group is... I prefer not to speak about this draw. The only thing I'm gonna say is that the main stage is starting earlier for the 4 teams of the Group D. So, happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be in your favor.